I'm still just geeking out that this was a spot in the Goonies and one of the more famous ones as well.
Our names are Mike and Heather. We're traveling the US in our van Appa on a mission to visit all 50 states. Subscribe and join us as we try to figure out this whole van life thing. As always, thanks for watching.
Good morning from just inside the California state border. We have not yet crossed into Oregon. We've come to Walmart this morning. We needed a few supplies, but more importantly, today is Stranger Things Day. Volume 2 of Season 4 dropped last night, and we haven't had the best service on the coast, so before we head up the Oregon coastline, we are going to watch both of those episodes in the Walmart parking lot while we are sure we have service.
We're so excited to get to Oregon, but first we have to watch Stranger Things, which is probably going to let you know how far behind in editing and releasing videos once you see this, depending on the date. But yes, first on the agenda before we cross into Oregon is Stranger Things.
And play.
After 2 episodes, several tears, and about 4 hours later, we are leaving Walmart and are getting ready to cross into Oregon. We are about 10 miles from the state border, and that will officially put us over our halfway point and into 26 states. Welcome to Oregon.
There we go. We are into state number 26. We have about a 2.5 hour drive up the coast to our first stop. The ocean is out on our left. It already is just a really cool atmosphere here in Oregon, and it really feels like we're getting further and further north. We have made it to the Sunset Bay State Park here in Oregon. We had a nice good day of driving and seeing the sights as we came in. We're going to explore this area a little bit tomorrow morning before we keep heading on down the coast, but we figured we'd get a campsite for tonight, be able to relax, enjoy a fire, and just kind of hang out and get a nice early start after a day of driving and Stranger Things.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in old conversations. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all
perfect campfire food, mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.
We're doing cereal and hot chocolate this morning because it is a little bit on the cooler side compared to where we've been.
This campsite is really nice. The weather is a little bit more moody and cool. It's almost like our fall weather back home, so it just makes us want to have a little bit of a lazy day. So we're getting kind of a late start, but today is going to be full of adventures after we get ourselves some fuel and hot chocolate because it is a tad bit cold out here today.
Yeah, we've had to break out the sweaters as we got
Which
north.
is nice after being in
over there. So as we've been getting into Northern California and then definitely here in Oregon.
Yeah, like I wouldn't believe that today is July. If you plopped me in here and asked me what month it was, I wouldn't know. But that's not necessarily a bad thing after sweating our butts off for a couple of weeks in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little squirrel running around our campsite like in circles trying to figure out if we dropped any food, and Mike's concerned that it's gonna bite his toes.
Well, because he disappears from sight, and when you can't see him, that's when they're the most dangerous.
It's like 2 inches.
Yeah, it can still bite you. In the national parks, we saw all of these signs about the animal that causes the most damage to humans, and it was like squirrels because people would try and feed them and they would get bit. So squirrels are incredibly dangerous according to the national park system. Probably has rabies. No, no, no.
So
So right around the corner from the campsite that we stayed at last night is the reason why people come to this Cape Arago area, which is wildlife viewing. So there is a spot along the Oregon coast that is really known for spotting different sea mammals. So that's our first stop today, to hopefully see some more sea lions and whatever else that you can see. A lot of times you can also see whale along the Oregon coast as well. So we definitely have our eyes peeled.
My top thing to see today would be sea otters. It looked like some kelp forests out there, so I'm pretty sure that's kind of an area they like to hang out. So if we're lucky, we'll definitely be excited to see those.
Not squirrels.
Not squirrels. There's people out there.
It's a good sign when there's a mob of people. Usually means wildlife.
Look at the telescopes they have. All right, grab our binoculars so we don't look like lames. All right, we're cool kids now.
I think they still win with their giant binoculars.
Oh, there are seals out there.
Really?
Yeah. It looks like there's a group of shoreline educators out there that have some scopes set up that will help you look for sea mammals and tell you a little bit more about what's going on. So I'm excited to learn what's happening at this point.
Take me anywhere that you want. I don't even care if we come back again. And as long as the stars are shining above us.
That was pretty neat. I really liked that they had a group of people out to give you some additional information on what was going on, and also having all of their sighting equipment set up, the different binoculars and telescopes and stuff like that to see was really neat. It made it a fun little stop that you got to learn something, not just look out and see.
Could definitely use some more hot chocolate though, standing out there.
We might have to break out the puffy jackets.
I know, oh my gosh.
And this is 4th of July weekend, and this should be warmer.
Well, probably not for the coast.
Not
we're
that it
used
should be
to.
warmer.
Yeah.
But we were probably not expecting to move into climates that were as cool as they are.
About a 15-second drive away from where we just saw all those seals is the Cape Arago little viewpoint area. There's a couple little trails that will actually take you down to the bottom, and you'll be able to walk on the beach and tide pool. So I think we're gonna go check that out, see what we can see. It is beautiful and rocky, a tad bit windy, and we are having a blast.
We may put coats on though, we'll see.
I don't wanna close my eyes, then I might miss a moment of you. And as long as the sun shines upon us.
Try not to shiver on camera. So I think we're not here at the right time to tide pool. It looks like the tide is in now because there's not really any spots that we can see that would have that leftover water as the tide moves out. So I don't know if there's really much that we can do here at the moment.
Still a pretty view. But now we're running back to the warmth of our van.
And I know that we are not getting any younger, but as long as there is time, I will walk beside you, 'cause I just wanna be where you are.
The plan today is to head up the Oregon coast. Oregon is actually known as the People's Coast because everybody has access to the entire coastline. It's not developed and it's there for everyone, which is a really great thing. The next stop is a carnivorous plant sanctuary area. So we get to go see a bunch of plants that eat things, which is really cool. But it's a little over an hour drive from where we're at now, so we're just gonna take in all the cool views as we go. Literally cool, because it is very cool out today. We have made it to the botanical gardens that have the special lilies that actually eat flies and different insects. So we're gonna go check that out now. It's a little bit of a walk in, but it's a boardwalk that should have a lot of pretty sights, including some deadly plants. So let's go.
Deadly in that they eat bugs, not deadly as in harmful to us. All through here.
Oh wow.
Those are neat.
They look like little alien plants. Like 15 seconds away from where we parked our car, there's this boardwalk that we're now walking on, and we're surrounded by the lilies. Cobra lilies. They really do look like cobras, like when the snakes stand up, so that's pretty cool. It feels like we're on a different planet right now. It looks like something that you'd see on like an alien planet. There's just so many of them.
They have some interpretive signage that explains more about these carnivorous plants. They are Darlingtonia californica. The insects will fly up into the hood of the plant, and once they're inside, they become disoriented by the translucent parts of the top of the plant, and as they go deeper and deeper, they become trapped by hair-like pieces that force them lower and lower into a dissolving enzyme.
So it is a very short walk through the cobra fields, and by very short I mean like you could definitely walk through it in a minute, but I definitely say that it is very much worth doing, and just the stunning scenery and the flowers themselves are amazing.
Haha, first try.
All right, up the coast we go. GPS has us at 23 minutes away from our next destination, which is Thor's Well.
The fog is cleared and it's turned into one of those really nice days. The sun's shining and we've got great views of the coastline as we come towards Thor's Well. If we didn't have the GPS, I think we still would have known that this is a place to stop because there are a lot of people here. Oh, and someone is pulling out just as we are arriving, which works for us.
Thor's Well is supposed to be a phenomenon with the water and the rock. It's like a circular area where the water either comes in and splashes it up or sinks it down depending on the time of day. So we're gonna see if we caught it at a good time of day. We didn't think had to actually like plan around the tides, but either way, it's a nice little walk, gets us out to the Oregon coast, and hopefully able to see a really cool sight. We didn't get to see Thor's Well quite burst up like it can during high tide, but I think we were there at almost high tide, so it was kind of going up and down quite a bit. We have one more stop today, and then we're going to find a spot to boondock and pick it back up tomorrow as well. So let's head to the next stop before we find a place to camp for the day.
We just got a look in the Devil's Punchbowl, and that is just a really cool geological feature. It used to be two sea caves that the roofs collapsed on, and now it's this big open area.
The Devil's Punchbowl is also part of another state park, and there's a couple restaurants and even a winery just across the street from the lookout area.
One of the other things that I think is really cool, there's a surf shop, but there's a bunch of surfers out in full wetsuits with the hoods and the shoes, catching waves here at this state park as well, so that's cool to watch. We have made it to our boondocking site for this evening. We are just past Newport on Highway 101. But it seems like a really nice spot. We're right on the water. We'll have some nice views as the sun sets. I don't know how much of a sunset we'll get because it's a little bit overcast, but if we do get one, we've got perfect spot for it. I think we're probably gonna start getting ready to cook food and sort of get ready to start calling it a night.
On a side note, look at how cool our boondocking site is.
Yeah.
But besides seagull, you are supposed to be able to see whales pretty decently off of this area here.
Correction.
Whale watching capital. So.
Yeah, we're not in Newport. I think we're in...
we don't know where we're at.
Yeah.
We're somewhere north of everywhere that we've already been today, heading up the Oregon coast. We are just outside of the whale watching capital in Oregon, and we're going to keep our eyes on the water, but it's a little bit too windy to cook on the picnic tables out there, so I think we're going to cook ourselves some food here, and then maybe watch whatever sunset we can get.
Yeah, but it seems like a really nice spot. Like Heather said, there's picnic tables. There's a sort of park area over to the side with some restrooms, so that's nice and convenient.
A lot of other vans, so if we get kicked out, we're all getting kicked out together.
Yeah, a really cool spot. iOverlander was helpful in finding this, and there are no overnight parking signs, so fingers crossed, but I think we're gonna be okay. There are quite a few other vehicles here that look like they're set up to stay for the night.
So do you want Italian, Indian, Mexican, just sandwiches, or
Mott sticks and chicken nuggets?
air fryer food? Is that what you want?
I could go for mott sticks and chicken nuggets.
Okay.
We do have some really nice meals sometimes, but tonight I'm feeling simple and easy and fried.
Is that about the food or just yourself in general?
Probably both.
Ow.
What's that do?
Hopefully not make it stick and burn at the bottom, but I'm pretty good at that, so probably still gonna do that. It's not much, but it's enough to cook the good stuff, and we can do it several times, so it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
What do you want first, chicken or mozzarella sticks?
Appetizers.
Well, either one of these could do. Mozzarella sticks?
Yeah.
Okay. So we only have a few minutes for our mozzarella sticks to be done before we can start cooking the chicken nuggets. We do have ketchup and hot sauce as well, so those will be really great. We'll probably sit back and enjoy the view and maybe watch a little bit of TV and possibly work on a vlog, because I am very much behind at this current moment in time.
Oh, people are setting off fireworks. So this is near the 4th of July. I don't know if they're supposed to. There have been a lot of signs since we've gotten here into Oregon that you're not supposed to set off fireworks in state parks, on the beaches, anything like that. So I don't know if that's completely on the up and up, but it's cool for us because we get to see it, I guess. Oh, those look good.
We only had one explode. I'd say that's pretty good.
That's win. All right, let's get into these. I'm so excited. Cheers, mott sticks.
I've been stalling for as long as possible to leave this spot here today because not only is it beautiful and free, but when we pulled up yesterday, the camper van that was next to us said that we just missed the pod of whales that live in this area. I guess they kind of bed down during the summertime, and this is the best time to actually see them in this area. So we got up early. I don't get up early for very many things, but for whales I will. And we're out sitting on the picnic table trying to find them. Unfortunately, we didn't see any of the blowholes, but we did have a beautiful morning. I don't think I can stall any longer. There are whale watching tours that you can pay for here, but I'm cheap.
Today we are heading towards the Oregon state line, and one of the things that we've been most excited to see here in Oregon on the coast, which is the town of Astoria. If you have seen the movie Goonies, it was shot in the town of Astoria.
After years of being together and quoting this movie, he had never seen it, so I made him finally watch it.
I wasn't quoting the movie, Heather was quoting the movie.
Well, yeah,
but
I was quoting the movie.
It's a very popular movie, and we are excited to go check out some of the locations there. We're still about 3 hours from the town itself, and we've got some beautiful coastline to drive through as we make our way north.
And I'll be looking for whales.
Yes, so let's get to it.
About 45 minutes south of Astoria, we have stopped at Haystack Rock.
This is our first stop on our sort of Goonies movie tour.
Yep.
As we make our way through the northern part of Oregon.
In the Goonies movie, this is where after they broke out one of the main characters out of jail, they drag raced down to escape the cops and evade them successfully, which sets up the rest of the story. This is also where Mikey holds up the coin to be able to know that they have to head towards the Haystack Rock to find the treasure.
Yeah, so there were some really cool volunteers here for the Haystack Rock Awareness Program. So they were talking about this being a protected area for years and years now. The rock itself is protected, and so is the area in the ocean in front of it. So there's kind of a marine garden that has a lot of cool stuff going on there. There's lots of birds flying around because it's an important nest site. So even if you don't know anything about Goonies, it's still a cool place to come. Definitely talk to the volunteers to get a little bit more info. I just thought it was a neat place with some cool ecological stuff going on.
I'm still just geeking out that this was a spot in the Goonies and one of the more famous ones as well. I do just want to comment that the weather is a lot nicer than our first day here in Oregon. Gone are the fog and the gloomy clouds, and we can actually see some blue skies. It is a beautiful day, and I'm very excited to see more of Oregon as we make our way up the coast to Astoria. Mike is terrible right now. We just passed the jailhouse. He's like, oh, is that it? What do you mean, was that it? Of course that's it. It's like the iconic scene. It's the opening shot where they break out Jake from the...
You know the names? Oh my gosh.
It's like Jake Fratelli or whatever. I haven't watched it in about a year. That's a lie. I've definitely watched it a few months ago.
I think that was the first time I watched it, was a couple months ago when we watched it.
Yeah, that's when they break out Jake, and then they get in the car, and that's when they drag race. They join the drag race on the beach to get away from the cops, and then they go bunker down in the old restaurant.
Yeah, I see that now.
Okay, we gotta go check it out. Maybe it'll jog his memory, but it looks like it's also the Oregon Film Museum, so that's pretty cool. And they got the Jeep. Look, they even got the bullet holes.
Wow. There's also a placard here that details basically what Heather said in the car. But they escaped from this Clatsop County jail, go through the neighborhoods in Astoria, and then down to Cannon Beach, which is where Haystack Rock was. So that all checks out. Good job.
You know that scene, Mike?
No.
What?
No.
Do you really not?
No.
That's like one of...
Oh yeah, that's right, they break it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I remember.
Now, just across from where we are parked here, we have the jail to our right and another part of Goonies history to our left, which is the museum that Mikey's father curated at and where he got the information from the treasure map and for whatever reason had it in his attic that the boys were able to find and go on the grand adventure. The next spot on our Goonie adventure today is actually up this hill, so you can't drive right up to it because it is a private residence. Similar to when we were in Salem to go see all the Hocus Pocus locations. Somebody actually lives in the Goonies house now, but we have parked at the bottom of the hill. We're walking up to hopefully get a good peek at the Goonies house, which is probably the location I'm most excited for. There it is.
That was definitely an area I recognized from the movie.
So that means it has to be pretty iconic. If the person who's only seen it once recognizes it. And it was definitely packed with a lot of people as well. Everybody was being respectful and taking the picture and walking away because again it is somebody's private residence, even though I could have stayed there all day and like reenacted different parts of the Goonies. But that is the Goonies house. It was very exciting to see. We are headed up to that bridge next. Astoria, aside from being a very popular filming location for the Goonies, is also a very famous seaport, and it is right on the border of Washington state, which is the state that we are going into in just a moment here. We are going to be crossing that bridge, leaving Astoria and the Goonies behind us and moving forward into Washington, which will be our 27th state. We did drive past a few more Goonies locations around Astoria, including the coffee shop and the bowling alley that were also used as filming locations. So I think I got my Goonies fix tonight, which is great. So we are going to be crossing the border into Washington, heading to a KOA, which I'm kind of excited about. I haven't really stayed in one since I was a kid on like a family vacation, so it should be interesting. A little bit on the expensive side, but We're in desperate need of showers at this point and internet, so that way I can force Mike to watch Goonies tonight.
We are getting ready to cross the Columbus River, which is what this bridge is going across, and yeah, into Washington, which is a state that I've always thought it would be cool to visit. I'm really excited to go and see the last little stretch of this Pacific Coast Highway. This will be really cool. And this bridge is a great way to start this stretch. Look at this thing.
It's also slightly terrifying. Entering Washington.
There we go.
Woo!
That is state number 27. Goodbye, Oregon. Hello, Washington. Wow. I've always been a Seattle Seahawks fan, so I always thought coming to Washington would be really cool. I'm especially excited to go to Seattle. This is a state that I've really looked forward to visiting since we started this journey.
We have the coast to our left still as we're making our way up the 101. I don't really know if we can still keep calling it the Pacific Coast Highway because I think that's technically just a California thing. But the whole goal of this West Coast road trip was to follow the coast as much as possible. Regardless of if it's the Pacific Coast Highway or the 101, we are heading up it to get to our campsite for the night. So we made it to the KOA and we are about to cook some food, and then I think we're gonna try to walk down to the beach and catch some fireworks tonight as well.
So we're excited to be here. I think on the menu tonight is obviously dinner, showers, fireworks.
I thought you meant like what we were eating tonight.
Oh no, just things that we're working on. Those are things that we're excited for tonight that we are definitely long overdue for.
Food time.
Still thinking about how we met. Yeah, I'm with you now.
We grabbed a couple of snacks from the campsite and now we're headed down to the beach. It's starting to get a little bit dark out, so hopefully we'll be able to catch some of the fireworks near the water.
The campsite that we're at butts right up to the beach, so at the very least we should be able to catch a very good sunset.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
The sun has now officially set, and off in the distance you can see the fireworks going off all around us because we're in a bit of a cove. So there's some going off over here and then there's some way off there. So it's been really cool to watch all the fireworks kind of light up all around us. We are going to head back up to our campsite now and get what we really came here for, a shower.
It is the next morning here at the KOA campsite in Washington. We've gotten up, we threw some clothes in the laundry and dryer that they have here, and we're going to do a little bit of breakfast. I think we're just gonna boil some water for oatmeal.
We did also manage to get showers. Our towels are hanging up right behind me here. We are in Bay Center, Washington right now, which is right on the coast, about an hour past the Oregon border. We are going to be making our way up the Washington coast today, and the goal is to get to the Hoh Rainforest. So that's going to be our adventure today after we make oatmeal, of course. But until then, we'll see you next time.